What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Your Daddy Issues Gaming. Man, it feels good to be back. Sorry I've been away for so long. This past week, I was sick as a dog, but I'm feeling a little bit better, so I'm back to bring you another video. So this time, as you notice, I'm not in VR. I'm actually playing in my little retro space in my living room, and I thought I will show some love to 16-bit Sega. I feel like I've been doing a lot of Nintendo, and I know I did a Sega Dreamcast episode, but I wanted to show some love to the Genesis fans out there. And yeah, the Sega Genesis first came out in 1989. Let me tell you, when I saw the Sega Genesis in action, it blew my mind. I had a neighbor that had a Sega Genesis, and the game he had was actually Altered Beast. And, you know, it's not that great of a game, but it showed what the Genesis was capable of as far as its horsepower. And I don't know, man, it just felt like when you graduated to 16-bit as a young man, it felt like you grew up a little, you know, it felt like, yeah, I'm stepping away from the baby NES and I'm finally becoming a man with these 16-bit graphics. You know, you had the parallax scrolling and everything was just so shiny and it was so much bigger. It was literally like bringing the arcade home. And admittedly, I never owned a Sega Genesis. I was a Nintendo fan. I had to choose sides, and I chose the side of Nintendo. I had a Nintendo, and then when the Super Nintendo came out in 1990, I had to get it, you know. And I mean, again, unfortunately, I didn't have a Genesis, but that's a first world problem. I didn't want one. I just felt like all the games that were cross-platform, the Super Nintendo had the better version. Other than the first party stuff, you know, Mario for Nintendo and Sonic for Genesis, you know, I always felt like the Super Nintendo just did its games better. Now, the Genesis, that's not to say the Genesis was a slouch. The Genesis actually did have better sports games. It actually did music a lot better than the Nintendo. So, I mean, I'll give it that. But again, I never owned a Genesis. I have friends who owns Genesis, Sega Genesis. And usually when I would go over their houses, I will play kind of reluctantly because usually they would have all Sega products. Like I had another friend who had a Sega Genesis and a Sega Master System. I'm like, who has a Sega Master System? Seriously. What? I always felt like that was a punishment. Like you can't get a Nintendo, you got to get a Sega Master System. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So, you know, I had friends who had Sega Genesis, and I would go over there and we would play Sega Genesis. I did like his first party titles. I love the Sonic series, and that's not to say I never owned any Sega products, because when the Game Gear was introduced, oh man, I had to have one. And I got my first Game Gear, I think it was in 1993. My brother had gotten it for me. And I mean, that was like the best thing that guy had ever gotten me. And I loved it, you know, because it was a portable color gaming system, you know. So, you know, again, that's not to say I didn't own any Sega products. It was just during this crucial time, I was a Nintendo fanboy. I chose Nintendo over Genesis all day, every day. And there was nothing you could tell me that was going to sway me from, you know, converting over to a Genesis, even when I could afford to get a Genesis and, you know, have be one of those kids say, oh yeah, I got a Nintendo and a Sega Genesis. I just chose not to. I didn't get my first quote unquote Genesis console, and the reason why I'm saying quotes is because it was the Sega Nomad, and you know that thing is expensive these days. But yeah, I had a Sega Nomad, and I did like the fact that it had a CD accessory too in the Sega CD, but I ended up getting a Sega CDX probably back in 95, I believe. Yeah, and I used to use that thing as like a portable CD player as well. I mean, back in the day, our pants were big enough to fit an entire Sega CDX in your pants and use it as a portable music playing device. It wasn't the best idea, but hey, it worked. So yeah, I have to give respect to the Genesis for some of the titles. I ended up discovering a lot of really good Sega Genesis titles later on down the line. Vector Man, Booger Man, I think it was. Of course, the Sonic series, and a couple other games that just for some reason is just escaping my mind right now. But yeah, the Genesis, you know, I just wanted to show it love, and I wanted to do it this way. Also because I just wanted to, I mean, admittedly, like my virtual reality room setup is not that different from what I have in my in my living room here. Yeah, and I love Sonic. I really love this series. I played a lot of Sonic games, and this will always just, you know, be near and dear to my heart, as well as Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2. So yeah, I thank you guys again for sitting here listening to this story. Let me know in the comments if you chose size in the 16-bit wars. I know I did, admittedly. If you want to comment about it, if you want to fight about it, we can fight. Let's fight, you know? No. Again, thank you for sticking around, listening to my tales, and hope to see you guys in the next video. I'm going to try to get a better schedule going, but hey, we'll see. Thank you once again. Click subscribe. All right. Peace.